everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a video that I started last month, so I've only done it one other time, Lydia. Okay, I really enjoyed doing it. What is the point of making a TBR for every month if you don't read them? And I found myself guilty of doing that. So I'd seen other YouTubers doing a video like finishing my TBR reading vlog. So that is what we're doing. I did it last month, we're gonna do it again. I had 6 books on my TBR. I have read 3 of them so far, and I'm in the middle of one. So the 3 I have read, If Only I Told Her. I actually read this in a video. I read it in finishing series I'm in the middle of. You can definitely see my thoughts on that one in that video. And then I just finished these 2. I read Dial A for Aunties. I'm gonna go more in depth on my thoughts in my April reading wrap up. I rated this 3 stars, not my favorite, but it was a fun read. And then I finished Reactivity by Paul David Tripp. This is a nonfiction Christian book. This is only like 160 pages. It dove deep into how we as Christians need to look at the toxicity on social media. And I felt like it wasn't super relevant to me because I don't deal with a lot of that on social media. A lot of the social media interactions I have are very good. Thank goodness I've never been cyberbullied, and I know that's a really big issue, but really he was diving in on how Christians, pretty much just on Facebook, older adults will get on there and just bash other Christians, and I think that's ridiculous. So I don't know if this was geared towards me and my personal experience, but I do think it is a good book. Anyway, here are the other 3 books I have to read. I'm currently in the middle of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This is a massive book. It's so big. 734 pages. So long. I'm currently on page 272. I've been reading it on my Kindle because it's so much easier than picking up this honker of a book. My Kindle tells me I'm 36% of the way through. It's taken me a lot longer to get through than I thought. I don't know why the Harry Potter books I read a lot slower. Maybe it's just because they're words that I don't know. It's just a whole new world that I'm learning. That's what I'm gonna blame it on. Let's see how many hours it says I have left on my Kindle, because I always try to beat what it says. It's telling me I have 6 hours and 12 minutes left. So about 6 hours left to finish this. I'm enjoying it. I'm not loving it though. I feel like there's so much buildup and we're just starting the main plot and we're already almost 300 pages in, so I wish we would have gotten to it sooner. So hopefully this backstory will come up later so I don't feel like I read it for nothing. At the moment, the 3rd one's still my favorite. We're slowly getting through this. I can't believe how big it is. Like, children read this. How did they read a book this big? Anyway, the other 2 books I have to read are 6 of Crows and You'll Be the Death of Me. This is by the same author as One of Us is Lying. I really enjoyed that one, and The Cousins. I really enjoyed that. I think this is just a young adult murder mystery. And then 6 of Crows is a fantasy book. There's like a group of people that come together to do this heist. It's in the same world as the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and I have read that. So now I feel kind of prepared to go into this world again, but the world is so complicated, I don't even know. Try to read a little bit more of this right now on my Kindle. That's the goal. That's the goal. So sad. Harry's just all alone in this situation.
I know you said it in the heat of the moment, but did you say what you mean? Yeah. Your face turned bright red and your body was frozen. Think I could hear your heart beating out your chest, and your sweat and your palms just won't rest. For a second you'll regret it. Almost wanna take it back, but it's too late 'cause you said it. I hope you meant it.
All right, I'm kind of out of breath because I took my dance break. You know, you just have to have dance breaks. So I turned on Not My Fault from the not the Barbie movie, the Mean Girls movie, which I've actually never seen. But the song is phenomenal. Such a good song. I'm gonna update you now. 51%. My Kindle says I'm on page 155. I don't know why. I'm actually on page 385. I don't know why in my mind this looks like I'm more than halfway through, but I'm not. I feel like we're finally just getting to the main plot. We finally started the tournament or the competition that is the whole point of this story, but the competition events are so spread out. They had one, and then 3 months later they're gonna have another one, so we're in that in-between time right now. So much of the Harry Potter books is just so elusive. Like, should I read into this? Should I not read into this? So I feel like your brain is just all over the place when you're reading these books. At least mine is, because I'm trying to figure out who in the world is doing this, or is this just magic? You know, like, what is it? So I'm enjoying it. I just don't know why I don't have a love for these books. I like them, I like the characters, but I feel like there's just too much detail. Hopefully all of that detail does come back later in the book to explain some things, but right now it's just a really, really big book. And I can't get over how big it is because I thought kids read this, but I guess I was wrong. I thought this was like middle grade, and I don't think I was reading any book this big in middle school. It is nice to do this though. This is giving me 4 hours and 39 minutes. It's better than the, what were we at, 6 hours? Glad that we are further in now, but for me to have just jumped 15% of the book in, I don't know, an hour and a half, an hour 15 minutes. Like, that's kind of little. Oh well, we'll keep reading and we'll see what happens.
Don't be embarrassed, no, baby, it ain't just you. I feel it too. I know this feeling's are new. Oh, baby, even though I'm playing it cool, here's the truth. I feel how you do, and I love you too. That awkward silence when you just don't know if you might have.
All right, it is the next day. I got a pretty big chunk of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire completed yesterday. I'm on chapter 28. I need to update my book. So that's page 535, and I think I started out yesterday at 272. So that is a pretty big chunk. I am 71% of the way through the book, 2 hours, 43 minutes. So still a long way to go. I hope I can finish it today. It's pretty early in the day, it's 2:30, so maybe I can just sit down and binge a little bit. Excuse me, that came out of nowhere. Okay, I am enjoying it. I'm not enjoying it as much as the third book yet. I like the premise of it, that there's like a competition going on, but the events of the competition are so spread out that I guess I just get a little bored in between. I do like the hints of a crush that one of the characters has on the other character, and that's just kind of cute, like a tiny little crush, and maybe it'll blossom into a romantic relationship later. I mean, they're way too young in this book, but I know they grow up in the book. I really think it's funny that he has a crush on her because he's showing it just like a typical middle school guy would, just picking on her and like joking with her and not wanting to hang out with her at all, but yet he has like a little bit of a feeling for her, which I just think is funny. So it's kind of cute to read about that like young crush. I'm gonna read more on my Kindle. I had to charge it because it was like at 9%, but now we are at 99%, so we are good to go.
Yeah. Had a suspicion, I was secretly hoping that we were on the same page.
1 hour, go.
'Cause your chest, your sweat, and your palms just won't rest. For a second, you'll regret it. Almost wanna take it back, but it's too late 'cause you said it. I hope you meant it. Don't be embarrassed, no, baby, it ain't just you. I feel it too.
All right, my hour is up. It's now 3:30. I'm in the middle of a chapter. I'm in the middle of chapter 31. So let's see how far. Oh, I was really close to the camera. Sorry. Let me see how far I got. I was on chapter 28. Now I'm in the middle of 31. Okay, now I'm on page 619. So I didn't read 100 pages. I always read these books slower, enjoying it. But once again, in those 100 pages, it was just not a lot was happening, even though there's so much detail. This part was just like a lot of preparation for the upcoming competition, but we're about to get to the actual competition. I have a little over 100 pages left. So I do think I can finish it tonight. I think I can. It's like the book. I think I can. I think I can. The Little Engine That Could. Such a good book. A lot smaller than this one, that's for sure.
Baby, even though I'm playing it cool, here's the truth. I feel how you do, and I love you too. It's too late 'cause you said it. I hope you meant it. Don't be embarrassed, no, baby, it ain't just you. Ooh, oh, oh, ooh, oh, oh. I feel it too. Ooh, oh, oh, ooh, oh. I know this feeling's are new. Oh, baby, even though I'm playing it cool, here's the truth. I feel how you do, and I love you too. Ooh, oh, oh, ooh, yeah, yeah. I feel it too. I feel it, I feel it. I know this feeling's are new. Oh, baby, even though I'm playing it cool, here's the truth. I feel how you do, and I love you too.
That was a whirlwind. I got so much whiplash from that, but it was really good, like really good. The last like 15% was really where the good stuff was. So now I'm able to just take the bookmark out because we finished this massive book. I think I'm gonna rate it 4 stars. I haven't gotten a 5-star feeling from any of the Harry Potter books. Maybe I will later on in this series because I'll feel more connected to them. I don't know if there's 3 or 4 more. This is definitely the biggest book I've read this year. Not the biggest book I've read of all time, but the biggest book I've read this year. That is so satisfying. Harry Potter has been through a boatload of stuff. I'm liking that we're seeing more hints of like little relationships or like little crushes. I know that's so trivial, but I need some romance in here because there hasn't been any, because they've just been too young to have a crush. But now like we're getting into that, so like that's exciting. And I like that people are taking Harry Potter more seriously now rather than just disregarding him. I feel like he's now coming into his own at Hogwarts, and I'm now understanding the world better, so that's why I'm liking the books more, I think. But yeah, so that's the first book. I can't believe that's the first book for this video. I still have 2 more, but because I've been reading a bunch today, I don't even know. Let's see how many pages we read today. So we read 200 pages today in this. So I'm gonna take a break right now and maybe start another book. The problem is that there's a young adult mystery I have and then a fantasy book. I don't really want to start the fantasy book, so I'll probably just start the young adult mystery because I just finished this really big fantasy book. But I really enjoyed it once I got into it. I felt like there was so much build up, but we did need it. I do understand why it was there now, but I felt like the explanation should have been less of just an information dump. Like it really was just like 3 pages of full information dump to explain all the plot twists, which I'm glad they explained it thoroughly, but it was like information overload.
Caught me right at the wrong time. Needed to be alone, I tried, but you were full of surprises, and I knew you were already mine.
Okay, I look crazy. It is the next morning. I decided to start a book on my Kindle, not related to this video, last night because it's just easier for me to read on my Kindle in bed at night. But this morning I woke up earlier than I normally do, so I decided to just go ahead and pick up the next book in this video, which is You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen McManus. I am really enjoying it so far. I had to take the dust jacket off because it just gets in the way. I'm on page 102, chapter 10. I always forget how much I really enjoy this author's writing. It's fast-paced, it gets to the point. We've already gotten to the crime, so now it's just us trying to uncover what's happening. I have a little over 200 pages left. I think I can finish it today. I'm gonna read for the next 30 minutes or so because it's still the morning time. I need to get a couple more things done, but I want to read this slowly throughout the day. I also have a lot of cooking I'm doing today because I'm going out of town this weekend for my friend's birthday, and I'm making some stuff for that. I've decided to use my Audible credit, which y'all know how that went last time doing this video. I just wasted an Audible credit, but this time I think I'm going to use an Audible credit on 6 of Crows, and I've heard it's such a good book that I don't think I'll be wasting an Audible credit on it. So I'm going to listen to the audiobook while I do a lot of baking. I feel like that's the best time for me to listen to an audiobook is when I'm cleaning or when I'm cooking, because cleaning and cooking is kind of just like a mindless task. So I can shift my brain towards the book while I'm doing something with my hands. That is the agenda for today with finishing these last 2 books. I actually think we're going to be able to finish these 2 books in the next couple days. I'm gonna read a little bit more of this. We'll see how much I can get through the next 30 minutes. And then I need to work out, get some steps in, walk outside, and then I'll start cooking.
Something about you supernatural. I get goosebumps every time you call. Got me running through my fantasies. 40 West, I'm doing 93. Tell me where the sparks come from. Don't know, that we both bring some. Doing something that I can't explain. Lately, no, I'm not the same. You're just like magic.
Alrighty, I've got the banana bread muffins out of the oven. The cherry pie bars are in the oven right now, so I'm gonna quickly update you on my reading. I got a little further in, what is this called? You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen McManus. I'm really enjoying it. I think the characters are really interesting. You know that they're hiding secrets. There's a little hint of a crush, which of course, I like when there's a little bit of romance mixed in with the mystery. There are so many complexities to the crime that went on that there's so many different ways it could go, so I know there's gonna be a big plot twist. I have some theories, but nothing really set in stone yet. I'm almost halfway through. I'm on page 140 and there's 323 pages. I think maybe I can get a bigger chunk done this afternoon. But while I was cooking, I started listening to 6 of Crows. I need to update where I am in the book. I'm on chapter 6, which is not as far as I thought, actually. Chapter 6 is page 81. It's a very complex story, I can already tell. The world, like the Gracia-verse that Shadow and Bone trilogy is in, is very intricate and very detailed and very hard to understand for me. So I thought this might be a little easier going into it, but I'm still as confused as ever. I get the gist and I get the personalities of the characters so far, but there have been so many characters introduced that it's hard to keep track of them. And also when I hear the person's name, I feel like I don't register it as much as when I'm actually reading the person's name. So I think that might be why I'm a little confused. I have one chapter left until I get to part 2. My phone tells me I have 6 hours left. I've already listened to 2 hours of it, I think, because I went on a walk and then I was cooking. I'm not going to be able to finish it today, of course, because I'm not going to take 6 hours out of the rest of my day to listen to it, but I do think I can finish it before May, because right now it's April 24th. I'm driving to Athens, which takes 2 hours, so I can listen to it on my drive there and then on my drive back, so I can definitely get 4 hours out of the way. I think we're getting into the meat of it. Page 81, I feel like that's when you should start getting the plot to pick up. It's not boring at all, it's just a little confusing.
You're just like magic. Not sure what it is, but baby, you have it. Life's better ever since you have it. You're just like magic. Move, baby, move however you want to. Make the night last till the sunshine.
All right, we're 100 pages later. I'm now on page 242. I have less than 100 pages to go. I'm really enjoying it. The story is moving at such a fast pace, even though it's still the same day. Like everything's taking place within 12 hours right now. I'm liking the little hints of romance that we're getting. I really like how we're slowly uncovering things so that we can solve the mystery alongside the characters. I feel like that's what I've liked so far about all of Karen McManus's books, that it's not like we know more than the characters know, it's like we're solving it with them, and that's what I really like about it. Definitely think I'll finish it today because it's only 3:30 and I have the rest of the day to read and finish this one. I'm probably gonna go on another walk right now and listen to a little bit more of Six of Crows just because I need to get up and get some movement in after sitting for the past hour. Excuse me. But there's the update.
Superstitious with a blind of faith. When we disappear and levitate. Now I know where the sparks come from. One touch, I was so far gone. Still something that I can't explain. Lately, no, I'm not the same. You're just like magic. Not sure what it is, but baby,
this was honestly so good. So easy to fly through. Majority of the book takes place in less than 24 hours. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. You're always wondering whose secret is going to come out first, who actually did this. It's just a very well-written young adult mystery. There's no spice. There's a little bit of language, but not much. It's just the like quintessential young adult mystery that I long for. Kind of like a Good Girl's Guide to Murder vibes. So good. I'm gonna rate it 4 stars. I enjoyed it so much. It's not that 5-star, like I didn't get this huge 5-star feeling, but 4 stars for sure. I'm really enjoying it. 2 4-stars in a row. That's really good actually. I listened to a little bit more of Six of Crows, but I'm not that much further into it. I'm probably on page 100 where I was on page 80. Nothing crazy there. Hello everyone. It is a couple days later. Last time I updated you, I had just finished You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen McManus. I'm still listening to the Six of Crows audiobook. I have about 4.5 hours left, and my drive to Athens today is 2 hours, and then when I drive back in a couple days on Sunday, that's another 2 hours. So I should finish the audiobook very soon. So I'm gonna put this in words right now. I will finish Six of Crows before April ends. The last day of April is Tuesday, so it's Friday today. I'm kind of enjoying Six of Crows. It's not something I'm dying to read, but it's interesting a little bit. I do feel like there's still way too many characters and not enough description of the characters, so I'm not able to connect with them yet, but hopefully throughout the rest of the book I will feel more connected with them. So I'm gonna listen to that on my drive to Athens, and I'll update y'all later. Okay, I have finally finished Six of Crows, so we can take our bookmark out. I will be honest, I did have to read the Spark Notes analysis of the book and the summary on Spark Notes to process the ending, because when you're listening to it, at least in my opinion, when I was listening to it, I didn't grasp it as well as I would have if I was reading it with my eyes. So that is one thing I had to do, but now that I've read that, it fully makes sense. I don't know if this was the best book for me to listen to on audiobook, but maybe it was. So one side of it is that I didn't really enjoy the book. So I'm glad I listened to it on audiobook for that aspect so I could get through it without kind of suffering. Like, that sounds terrible, but like read it, but not actually have to sit down and waste my time like I was doing other things while I was reading it. But on the other hand, the accents in this book and then how intricate the plot is, I feel like maybe I didn't grasp it as well as I would have if I read it. Either way, that Audible credit is used up. I actually did finish it. There was a lot of unnecessary parts in my mind, and the ending was very fast. I think it's supposed to be very fast, so you want to read the second one because it ends on several cliffhangers. I like the relationships in here. I like the found family aspect. I really like the girls' friendship in this. Like the two girls, you can see their friendship grows. It's really not the main plot of the book at all. Like I'm not supposed to be over here analyzing all the relationships, but that's what we do when we are innately romance readers. And I love found families. That's always what I look for. So I did appreciate that part. I do think the heist plot would be interesting if there weren't so many details involved in it, but I'm gonna give it a 3 stars. It's a solid book, not something I'm gonna rave about, not something I'm gonna recommend often, but if you like this author's writing and you want more of an intricate fantasy, definitely read it. This world is just still confusing to me. I would honestly recommend reading the Shadow and Bone series before this book. I know a lot of people say you don't have to, and no, you don't have to, but you will not understand the different powers and the different groups of people if you don't read Shadow and Bone. You could probably just read an article about it though, to be honest. But we finished our TBR, I think. Let's see. This is the test. Can I remember what was on my TBR? I remember there were 2 yellow books, so Dial A for Aunties, Reactivity. I think this one was on it. If Only I Had Told Her. Of course, we had 6 of Crows, Harry Potter book, and then what was the other one? Didn't I read it in this video? This is crazy. Why am I forgetting? Oh, it was a mystery. Okay. You'll Be the Death of Me. There we go. Yay! So we have successfully completed the TBR for this month. That's amazing. Because technically last month I didn't, because I DNF'd the last book. So all 6 of the books are completed. Yay! I really do like doing these videos because it just makes me feel so accomplished if I can actually do it. The Bible verse for today is Zephaniah 3:17. The Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by his love. He will exult over you with loud singing. There's so much to unpack here, but one thing I want to focus on is he will quiet you by his love. I feel like there's so many things that we're thinking about, so much noise in this world that we can become overwhelmed easy, and I can become overwhelmed easy and get frustrated or get stressed quickly. But I love how it says he quiets us by his love. He reassures us, he loves us, he's caring for us, he's with us every step of the way in this crazy roller coaster of life, and that quiets our mind and quiets our soul and just brings peace. And I love how it's worded in this. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Maybe you got some book recommendations out of this. Comment down below anything at all, what books you're reading, what books you want to read. I hope you'll have a wonderful, wonderful day and be a blessing to others today. Bye guys.